Hi everyone and welcome back to Nick's Diecast. For today's video I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale Plymouth Prowler concept made by Ertl. This was a pretty cool car when it was out actually. Plymouth made the Prowler from 1997 until 2002. It was actually called the Chrysler Prowler from 2001 until 2002 because the Plymouth brand actually was discontinued after 2001 for financial reasons. This model from Ertl, I would say, is pretty good. This is based off the 1993 concept version of the Prowler. I'll kind of talk about what differences there are between the concept version and the production version as I go along with the review. But I got this for, I think, around like 12 bucks at a flea market a while ago, like 8 years ago. I'd say for that it was a pretty good deal. It is discontinued, so it might be a little bit harder to find than one that's still in production. But I would say it's a solid model throughout. Let's go ahead and get into the details here. We'll start up here with the front of the model. The headlights, I'd say, are fairly well done. They have that kind of like clear look to them. They have the lenses in there. They're kind of molded in. They aren't like a separate piece or anything. And the turn signals are just painted on. The lights are actually, on the real Prowler, they have like a similar shape to this. The turn signal, of course, would be a separate lens. But on here, they just kind of paint it on. This grille here, it is a separate piece at least, but it's not actually perforated or anything. It does have like the texture to it at least, which is nice to see. These bumpers are nice and sturdy. Both versions of the Prowler actually have these bumpers on them. It'd actually be kind of cool to see this car without these plastic bumpers, just have it like be the smooth, like straight up purple. But I think they had to have those on there for like, you know, safety reasons and whatnot. These wheel wells are plastic, but they look pretty convincing. Their paint matches the rest of the car. Sometimes on models we'll get, you know, plastic parts that are painted to match the metal, but they aren't really well done. On this one, I'd say they're pretty well done. The steering is pretty cool on here because it's like visible, as you can tell right there. There's the steering wheel too. No suspension or anything on here, but at least it does have the steering. Paint quality, speaking of the paint quality on here, I would say is very good. There's kind of like a metallic sparkle on the car throughout. Now, there actually is a difference in the color of the concept vehicle from the production purple that the production Prowler had. The production Prowler had kind of a darker purple, I would say, like a grape purple. This one's kind of more of like a rose kind of purple, which is nice. I like how they kind of differentiate that with this vehicle. The single wiper indicates that this is the concept vehicle. The real one had, obviously, 2 wipers on it. The mirrors are actually made of metal, which is a nice feature. Usually, most mirrors on model cars are just separate plastic pieces. Wheels look great overall. There are moving disc brakes, as you can see here. I like those little kind of rivets in there too. They look really nice. Very wide rear tires as opposed to the front tires. They kind of went for like a 1930s hot rod looking vehicle with the Prowler, and I think it's pretty cool. I know some people aren't really a big fan of this, but I think it's a really cool looking car. Moving along to the rear. Taillights are just painted on. That was kind of a characteristic thing of 90s Ertl models. Kind of annoying, but again, in the 90s, you know, 1/18 scale cars were just starting out, so their details were a bit, you know, sparse in some areas, so that's not really a big deal. Just was kind of odd with the purple. I didn't even know that this actually had taillights the first few days I had this model, because they kind of blend in with like the same like reddish purple color. There is a license plate down here, as you can see. This is Prowler on there by Plymouth. Nice bumpers back here. These reverse lights are painted on. They aren't separate pieces, but at least they're on there. They look good. No opening features back here. The real one would have an opening trunk that opens up like this to store the top. I don't know if the concept version, which this is, had anything opening back here. It looks like there might be because there's like a crease here, but I'm not really sure. I haven't seen pictures of the real concept with the rear trunk open or anything. The hood opens like this, in this direction. It's kind of flimsy and fragile, so that's kind of a downside. Nicely detailed engine. Ertl really does a good job with their engines in their model cars. This is a 3.5 liter V6, as you can see with that little insignia right there. You can see all the way down to the bottom. There's piping throughout. There's chrome pipes down there. There's a nice black pipe here. I like how it's not just one plastic mold or anything like that. It's a nicely well done engine. It actually locks closed with these 2 pegs up here. You can see, just shut that, and then it's locked in place. A cool feature, I would say. Doors open. Not much on the interior. The concept didn't have anything on the interior. Of course, the production version would have all the buttons for like the radio and whatnot in the center there. There's some dust here too. But this just has the gauge cluster in the middle. Separate pieces for the gauges, or separate stickers, I should say. They did a nice job with this kind of purple right up here. Shifter keys, a bit more detailing. Whatever these buttons are here, they're not colored in or anything like that. The door panels look good though. Again, with this paint here, it looks like the metal, which is nice. It almost seems like it is metal because the paint matches so well, but it's just a plastic door panel. There's kind of this vent up here, not really sure what that's for, but the coloring is nice on the door panels. Steering wheel looks pretty good. Very kind of basic shape. It steers the wheels very well. It has kind of a white border on it, which is kind of strange. I wish it was kind of all gray, but there's a Prowler inscription down there, which is a nice touch. The seats are also well detailed. They have this, the concept seats are of course different from the production seats. That's another feature you can kind of tell apart from the production version too. They kind of have a nice like leather pattern and feel to them. They have wrinkles in them too, which is a nice touch. That's really about it for this interior. Kind of a basic layout in here. In terms of the undercarriage, we'll take a look at that next. Let's flip this over. Nicely detailed. You can see the piping or the exhaust pipes and the engine back here and up there. They did a good job overall. If you can find this Ertl model, because it has been discontinued anywhere, I would say it's a nice addition to your collection. If you have, you know, hot rods or 90s cars or American cars, it does look really cool. I like the design. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I think it's a cool looking, like, retro car, for sure. All right, that's pretty much it. So make sure you give this video a like and comment down below with what you think of this model or any model that's similar that you can think of and whatnot. And also be sure to follow my Instagram page, which is Nick's Diecast page, all lowercase and no spacing. Thanks for watching.